Welcome to the Jiu-Jitsu Times. I am Chris Zahar, and I have one of the pioneers of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu on the line right now, Mr. Eddie Bravo. How are you, Eddie?
I'm doing great, man. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing great, doing great. All right, so coming up this, what is it, Sunday, we got EBI 12, right?
Yes, that is correct.
EBI 12, awesome. And can you tell our readers a little bit about EBI 12? What's going up? It's the female flyweights, right?
Yeah, there's the first. We've had girls on the show before, just special matches, but now this is the first time we're doing a full 16-woman tournament, regular EBI rules, and a 4-woman combat jiu-jitsu tournament at the same time. The last EBI we did, EBI 11, that was the first time we showcased combat jiu-jitsu, and that was the exact same format, regular 16-man tournament with a 4-man combat jiu-jitsu tournament, and that pretty much stole the show. It was amazing, man. It was incredible. It went off way better than I expected.
Yeah.
So that could happen again here. I mean, when you start adding palm strikes and jiu-jitsu matches on jiu-jitsu mats,
yeah,
it looks so hardcore. Like if we did it in a cage, it wouldn't be as crazy looking. But you know, when you're used to watching jiu-jitsu, you go through the first 8 matches, and it's regular jiu-jitsu, submission-only jiu-jitsu, and then all of a sudden they start throwing palm strikes to the head. It gets nuts. It gets crazy. So, the girls are doing it this time. We got 2 girls from Bellator, Ilima-Lei McFarlane and Brooke Mayo. They're going head-to-head. And then we have a rematch from 2 girls in Invicta, Celine Haga and Amy Montenegro. In Invicta, they both got saved by the bell. Celine got saved by the bell at the first round. She was caught in an armbar, and that thing was beat. And then at the end of the match, Celine choked out Amy, put her to sleep, but she got saved by the bell and won. So that was probably the most controversial match or MMA fight of all time. I can't think of anything crazier. The only thing that rivals that would be Matt Hughes and Carlos Newton. Remember that? Carlos had Matt Hughes in a triangle, and he picked him up, and he stood up, and then he slammed him, knocked him out, and Matt Hughes was out. He didn't actually slam him. He just collapsed. He didn't slam him. He collapsed and knocked out Carlos Newton. He woke up, and then he won. So it was weird. And then there was another MMA match where there may have been 2 where both guys got knocked out by a punch. That was in Indianapolis. I was actually there live for that. But
really?
So they're going to get a rematch. And the winner of the Invicta match will go against the winner of the Bellator match in the finals of the combat jiu-jitsu. In the regular 16-woman regular EBI submission-only rules, we got number one IBJJF girl, Talita Alankar, who just won the gold medal at the Mundial, and we got Patty Faunch, who's a no-gi IBJJF world champion, who's a submission artist. She doesn't win by points, so she's going to do great in this tournament, I assume, just based on her performances in the no-gi world. I'm, who knows how she handles heel hooks? I'm not sure. I know the guys at Checkmat, they're not, when they go no-gi, they go full heel hook, so she should be fine. And we also got Livia Ruchowska, who's a black belt under Lachlan Giles and Craig Jones, who have a great jiu-jitsu academy out in Melbourne, Australia, where they're on top of the leg lock game. They're every day they're trying to make sure that they're not left behind in the evolution of the submission-only world. And Lachlan Giles, he armbarred Hani Yahya in EBI, and he also defended all of Nathan Orchard's leg attacks in EBI and beat him in overtime. So that says a lot. And Craig Jones, one of the students, he actually heel hooked Nathan Orchard. So those guys are all about pulling off upsets. And Livia's a beast. She's black belt, and she has the potential to take the whole thing too as well. And we got Christina Barlan, another black belt IBJJF elite competitor. So we've got the IBJJF girls coming out way more than the guys came out. I'll tell you that much. We had a couple drop out. Jenna Bishop dropped out and Tammy Michi dropped out. But we have the girls that are in there. These girls are gangsters. They they're happy they're ecstatic to be in the show. So
Awesome.
that's what we're looking for. We're looking for people that are unsure whether their leg locks are good enough or not. We want people who are 100% down, and everybody that's in there right now, after all the dropouts, they're super happy to be in there, and they're ready to go to war.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of, pullouts, people pulling out and stuff, how does EBI handle last-minute pullouts? Like, you got somebody like, say, maybe like a star on the card, and all of a sudden they pull out. Like, how do you guys handle that?
We have a list of alternates. There's no problem putting people in to back them up. They might not be as well known as like in the situation you're talking about, like a big star who pulls out. We might not have a big star on the alternate list, but we have gangsters on the alternate list who can't wait to jump in there and trade heel hooks. So alternates, there's never been a problem. We have a long list of those.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. That's good. And this is what's this, your second show or your third show on Fight Pass, right? That's going to be on Fight Pass again.
Oh no, this is probably our. I think we started on Fight Pass, and EBI 5 or 6.
Really? Was it that far ago? It seems it's such a short time ago. Wow. Yeah, I missed that.
No.
Okay.
We've been on Fight Pass for a while.
Yeah, what were you guys doing before that? I can't
Over a year. Before we were just doing our own pay-per-view, like running it through Budo Videos.
Oh, that's
Budo
right.
Videos.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Budo Videos had a pay-per-view, so it's not hard to stream. Everybody's streaming. There's all these new events coming out, and streaming is not hard at all.
No,
but
not at
it's
all.
great. It's great having the UFC back us. It was their idea to have an all-girl show. We wanted to do it. But I didn't want to bring it up to them. I thought they would shoot it down. I thought, okay, let's wait a few more shows. And they brought it up to me. They said, how do you feel about doing an all-girl show? I'm like, are you kidding me? All-girl show is going to be insane.
Yeah.
With the special matches, our special matches with the girls, they usually take they steal the show half the time, So, this is going to be amazing. I can't wait. This one is going to be very special.
Yeah, there's no other all-girl grappling show on there, is there now? I can't think of any off the top of my head.
There are, but they're small.
Yeah.
They're not, there's a whole bunch of submission-only tournaments popping up everywhere. But, Polaris is now on UFC Fight Pass, so
I got that.
That helps the scene. And Submission Underground.
Well, I was thinking about like
an
all-girl one, like an all-female event.
I don't think that's happened at this level yet.
Yeah, but, I can't think of it happening.
But IBJJF, they have tournaments all the time. The world, and it's all girls. They're just not on, and so.
Yeah.
IBJJF have been doing tournaments forever, but as far as like main event, one match at a time type tournaments, like a show in the evening, I think we're the only ones that are doing that right now. But I hope more do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
More the better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I want this to keep growing because right now no one's making any money. Right now we're just trying to survive. Everyone's just trying to survive. There's no money yet. As far as the sub-only movement goes, people love it, but most of the jiu-jitsu community, they're still resistant to it. They think it's like this strange, when it's like the heel hooks just that just freaks them out.
Oh yeah, it does.
So we'll see. It's gonna take them a while to undo the brainwash that they're dirty and they're like low level, Leg locks are legit. You gotta. I want my guys. I don't want my guys to have that hole in their game. That's why we jumped hard into leg hooks. We've always, Tenth Planet has always had heel hooks. We've always reaped. We never banned reaping or heel hooks ever. We just never got super heavy into them because I wanted my guys to do well in MMA. And in MMA, heel hooks, they're risky. They're important to know, and people do pull off heel hooks. I don't know if you'd say often, but they do. They work, and they're legit. But you also can get knocked the fuck out going for heel hooks, too. So it's not, as far as MMA goes, it's not like heel hooks aren't something that you should focus 100% on. It should be like your backup plan, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
And then in the points game, heel hooks aren't even allowed. Heel hooks aren't even allowed in Sambo, which is crazy. So there was really no reason before the sub-only movement began, to get heavily into heel hooks, because in the points game, they're not going to do anything for you. And in MMA, that could be really, really risky. So now with the sub-only game, everything's legal, reaping heel hooks. All of a sudden, heel hooks are the most important part of the game because it's the first fight. It's like in MMA, the most important aspect of MMA is striking, because you start standing, every round starts standing. If the fight gets boring on the ground, they stand you up. Striking is the most important part of MMA. You know, not to say that wrestling and jiu-jitsu aren't important too, but striking's way more important than grappling. But you do need jiu-jitsu, you do need wrestling, you do need jiu-jitsu. So in submission only, the most important aspect of the sub-only game are heel hooks, because that's the first battle. You might like getting the back, you might like rear naked chokes, but you got to get through the forest of leg locks first. And, I mean, you have a plan for that? How are you going to get around them? How are you going to get through them? So you have to learn how to deal with them in the sub-only game. So they went from being the least important part of grappling to, in the sub-only game, the most important part.
Yeah, absolutely. Why is it that you think heel hooks are still considered dirty? I mean, do you think it is that just people don't know how to handle them or something like that? Or is it some perceived danger in them? I mean, why is it that people just like...
I think it's a weakness in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community. So to demonize them would be beneficial financially. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
Why learn them? You know what I mean? Because a heel hooker doesn't even have to learn how to pass the guard or sweep. Look at Eddie Cummings. He's not passing anybody's guard. He's not sweeping anybody. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to. And he could take out dudes who've spent their whole life high-level black belts. He could take out high-level black belts left and right with never doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like a rivalry. It's the rivalry of grappling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
You could take a heel hooker who come into a class and just wipe everybody out if they're not. And that happens all the time. It's like some guy comes in open mat, and it's a bunch of classic traditional jiu-jitsu guys playing, at open mat. They're going to get wrecked by the heel hookers.
Yeah.
That's the first battle. They're not going to know how to even get through that first battle.
Right.
And that doesn't look good. So you could embrace it and jump in head first, or you can run from it. It's kind of like strikers, like boxers, like Floyd Mayweather's like talking shit on Conor McGregor because he gave up. You know, he doesn't understand the game. You know, he's like, he gave up. He tapped out, dumbass. That's what happens in MMA. Don't you watch it? People tap out. They don't want to die. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So it's ignorant. It's like strikers will talk shit on grapplers and say it's that'll get you killed on the street, or that's getting on the ground, well, that's dangerous, and that's not a smart tactic. They'll say whatever it takes to make their striking style more important or dominant. You know what I mean? It's just a rivalry of styles is really all it is. When a lot of karate instructors, when they saw jiu-jitsu blow up and, shock the world really with Hoist, a lot of jiu-jitsu or karate black belts and taekwondo, they jumped right into jiu-jitsu. At John Jacques, like half the guys in there were karate black belts and taekwondo black belts, and guys coming from Wing Chun, and they didn't stop karate. They didn't stop taekwondo. Some did, but a lot of them just added to jiu-jitsu. So it's almost the same thing. It's almost like Eddie Cummings is like a new kind of Hoist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like that. And you're either going to jump in and learn it, or you're going to just demonize it and stay away from it and keep your students away from it. Yeah. But eventually it's going to catch your ass. That's not a good move, in my opinion. Like I said, we've always been into heel hooks, but now I realize, with this new sport, with the new rules, all of a sudden heel hooks become so important, the most important part of the sub-only game. So we turned it up. We the last 3 years we haven't stopped working on anti-leg lock strategies in the traditional jiu-jitsu and the smash game and the passing game and the mount game and the back game. We've turned that up too. We've done simultaneously. We're getting as high level with the leg locks as possible, and at the same time as high level as stopping leg locks at the same time. We're doing it at the same time. We'll have classes where at the same time we'll do live drills with leg locks and then live drills like back drills. Live drills with leg locks and then live passing drills. So we're we're hardcore into leg locks, but we're also just as hardcore into the traditional smash game.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. When do you usually start teaching your students leg locks? Is it like one of those things you like want to wait until the student is like a year or two experience? Like a lot of gyms, they're like, I don't want to see anybody below blue belt during leg locks or heel hooks or anything like that. And some gyms ban it completely.
There's nothing wrong with that. Starting leg lock at blue belt or purple belt, there's nothing wrong with that. We start them right away. Right away, just get them right into it, and we haven't had any problems. There's like this rash of blown out knees going on at all or anything like that. We start them right off. We show the kids how to do heel hooks.
Oh, great! Yeah, wow. So how young are those kids?
It all depends. I mean, we have kids that are 5. We have kids that are 11.
Wow.
We teach our kids everything.
That's cool. That's definitely cool. Okay, so
heel hooks are no more dangerous than Kimuras. Like, what's the difference between tearing your MCL? That's what usually tears in heel hooks. If you pop something, then MCL that doesn't require surgery.
Oh yeah.
MCLs are the most common tears in heel hooks, and those don't require surgery. What's the difference between that and tearing your rotator cuff off with a Kimura? Same thing.
Oh, I've heard people say that Kimuras are more dangerous. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. It's the same thing. This is jiu-jitsu. These are joint locks,
Yeah.
You got to learn how to defend them.
No. And once your arm is behind your back like that, it's, if a person really jacks that, you're going to feel it. You're probably going to be out for a while.
Yeah, and people don't realize also that when you practice heel hooks, we practice putting them in. We don't just go through the motion. We actually finish the heel hook and practice torquing and twisting it to get to the tap, so that the grappling dummy is getting practice tapping. Once you practice where that tap is, so when you're actually rolling, you know where the tap is coming. You know where you tap. So when we practice, it's very important when you practice leg locks to practice the crank, so you're practicing what makes people tap, and your partner is practicing tapping. Practicing tapping is huge. You know exactly when that tap should come. There's no surprise. So you actually very rarely does anybody get injured from heel hooks at my school or any of my 10 class schools. You just don't hear it because we just know when to tap. We know how to crank them right, and we teach everyone how to do it properly. So it's a big misconception that heel hooks are this dangerous submission or dangerous hold.
Absolutely.
It's not.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, so you, it's basically what you and Polaris now are the 2 grappling tournaments that are on Fight Pass now, right? I can't think of any other on Fight Pass. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, do you
Hopefully
see this?
there'll be more.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you see this as a sign that like jiu-jitsu is getting a lot more popular? Just like
absolutely, for sure. Yeah, it's growing every day. Jiu-jitsu is getting bigger and bigger. It's growing.
And I mean, 30 years ago, or maybe 25 years ago, or something like that, MMA was this like little underground sport, and nobody knew anything about it. And now it's performing in these like huge stadiums, like Madison Square Garden, like the UFC performed in Madison Square Garden, and Bellator did too recently, didn't they? Yeah.
Yep.
Do you think? Do you see jiu-jitsu getting that popular ever in the future? Like
I don't see why not.
Jiu-jitsu.
I don't see why not. As long as it's done right. I don't see point jiu-jitsu getting that popular ever. I don't see point jiu-jitsu or gi jiu-jitsu getting that popular.
Yeah.
It's just too slow. It's not. It's got to be no gi. It's got to be sub only, in my opinion. If I didn't think that, I wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
I'm doing. The reason I'm doing what I'm doing is because I think it's the only way we're gonna get jiu-jitsu to the mainstream.
Absolutely.
I thought that was another way I'd be doing it, but I don't think you can do it with the gi. The gi is like chess, and chess is a cerebral game, very prestigious, intelligent people play it. But it's never going to be on Saturday night chess championships on Fox. It's never going to happen. That's how I see the gi. It's very cerebral, slow. Even jiu-jitsu players don't want to watch it. You know what I mean? In general, they're not supporting it because, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. My instructor's a black belt, and he doesn't want to watch jiu-jitsu on TV. At least not the jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, like same thing. Like Jean-Jacques, he's a legend in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
He barely even watches it. He's not trying to watch it. He thinks it's boring. You know what I mean? So when you got black belt masters saying it's boring, there's no shot. There's no chance that it'll ever get huge.
Yeah. When you got the people who lead the sport saying it, that's definitely.
Yeah, they say it all the time. They'll admit it.
Oh,
boring.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. What about all right, this is actually a fan question, okay? Favorite EBI fight of all time? Like in all the EBI events, you can pick one that was like really just caught your eye or really just sticks in your head as just an awesome fight. Like which one would you pick?
Oh, it'd have to be Gio Martinez and Eddie Cummings.
Oh God,
it'd have to be that one.
Yeah, that was
gotta
recent.
Be that one. That was in December, last December.
That's right. Yeah, that was killer.
Yeah, that was. I'm a little biased with that one, but that one was the craziest one. I was shaking after that. It was incredible.
Yeah.
I don't think any other match had me shaking.
No, absolutely. Yeah, that's always, especially when you're talking about a jiu-jitsu match. If it gets you shaking, then it was really hardcore.
Yeah. That was huge. I mean, and it was only that huge because of the dominance that the Danaher Death Squad and Eddie Cummings specifically displayed over the last couple of years. If they were batting 500, it wouldn't have been that great. I mean, Eddie Cummings was just killing everybody, and for Gio to beat him in overtime, it was insane. It was. Eddie had him he had both his legs. He had his legs exactly the way he wanted them, and Gio wouldn't tap, and he took him to overtime and beat him. That was the greatest match in 10th Planet history.
Yeah. That was an awesome match. That was definitely one of the best. I can definitely see that. Okay. What about, can you think of, like, any two competitors, who haven't fought yet, but who, like, really need to fight at EBI? Like a match that hasn't happened yet at EBI, but that you'd, like, really like to see in the future?
I'd like to see Vinny Magalhaes and Gordon Ryan. That would be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be a great fight right there. That's off the top of my head. If you're talking about fighters that have been in EBI, that's one thing. But if you're talking about like just the ultimate matchup in EBI, I would like to see Marcelo Garcia and Gary Tonin. That would be insane.
That would be insane, absolutely. Okay.
Because Marcelo Garcia in overtime, are you kidding me? Nobody would get past the first round.
Yeah, he's a slick.
He would own those overtime rounds. And Marcelo Garcia gets to start on your back, you're done, son. There's a slight chance you might survive one of those rounds, but you ain't going to survive the next one.
Yeah, he's just amazing. I mean, he's like one of those guys who, like, if I saw him on the street and I didn't know who the hell he was, I'd be like, really? This guy's a champion? Are you fucking serious? Because, he doesn't look like that, Marcelo Garcia. But
exactly.
When you watch him move, he's just, I mean, wow, he's a killer. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Speaking of the Danaher Death Squad, you've probably seen it. There is a lot of shit talking right now between Renzo Gracie's academy and Dylan Dennis. I mean, it has to do with more with Polaris than it does with EBI.
Yeah.
How do you feel that, like, trash talking and that type of stuff? Do you think that really helps out the grappling sport a lot?
I mean, it's helping out MMA, right? I mean, isn't Connor's trash talking blowing MMA up?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, when you choose to go that route, when you choose to go the trash talking route, you know, you're choosing to go a route where you're going to get a lot of hate. And you're going to get a lot of people who, I mean, you're basically making yourself the villain. You're making yourself the heel. And when that happens, most people want you to lose. You know what I mean? So it's a sacrifice. You know, and some people don't care. They're like, I don't care if people want me to lose. They thrive on that. You know, so not very many people. Most competitors want the admiration of the fans, and you know, but that doesn't sell that many tickets. So if there are those chosen few that can win big and become a heel, there's you know, there's nothing wrong with that. There's always going to be a trash talker in every genre. I'm sure there's a trash talker in tennis, probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. What about...
Or something like my guys, I would prefer, I can't control my guys, and they can do what they want, but I would prefer my guys, you know, keep it respectful. You know, I'm a fan of, you know, nothing but respect. Like Eddie Cummings, man, I like that. I like whenever he talks, and whenever he talks about a match or an upcoming event that he's going to participate in, I like that. I'm a fan of that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, great. Yeah, I mean, it's especially interesting to bring it up because of what happened with Dylan Dennis and Marcelo Garcia. You know, just the way they split, and you know, I mean, I guess Dylan still respects him, and of course he still respects him, but he's kind of still a little angry at him over what happened, and
yeah, that's interesting. I mean, to have a falling out with Marcelo Garcia, Jesus, that's I think that's a first. You know, I don't think Marcelo Garcia's ever had a falling out with anybody.
No,
he's so nice.
Yeah, he's
so nice and respectful. I mean, he's the most respectful guy out there.
Yeah.
Super nice. And, you know, he's the most dominant grappler of all time. The guy has 25 submissions in Abu Dhabi. Jesus Christ. You know, who's close to that?
I can't think of him. No.
I got two.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's he really is. I mean, and again, you just wouldn't think it looking at him. I mean, you look at guys like Andre Galvao, and they're built like silverback gorillas and stuff, and you could look at him and say, you know, that guy I could picture being really tough. But you see Marcelo Garcia, and again, if you didn't know who he was, you'd be like, please, I got to fight this guy. I'm going to kill him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He does have, like, thick, tremendous legs. I mean, he's got gigantic calves, and his quads are gigantic, too. His legs and his hips are super powerful. That's why I think he gets most of his strength from.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. What about, an all-combat jiu-jitsu event? Would you ever be, are you guys ever thinking about
That's
doing
already happening. That's already happening.
Wow.
Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds. It's going to be separate from EBI.
Oh, wow.
It's not going to be an EBI show, but it's happening in November in Mexico. We're going to have an 8-man lightweight tournament and an 8-woman. I haven't determined the weight yet, but it's going to be an 8-man combat jiu-jitsu tournament and an 8-woman combat jiu-jitsu tournament. Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds. It's going to be separate than EBI. It's not going to be on. So far, we haven't come to terms with UFC Fight Pass. We've had some light verbal negotiations, but nothing deep. I'm not sure they're interested, but we're going to do it anyways. And we're going to, stream it ourselves and do pay-per-view ourselves and all that stuff. It's happening. It's going to be in November. We haven't nailed the date in November yet, but it's going to be November in Mexico.
Jeez, that is going to be intense. I can't wait to see that. I think
that was the original plan. Like I've said this before, it was all about combat jiu-jitsu originally. The commission wouldn't let me do it outside of a cage, and I didn't want to do any kind of grappling tournament in a cage. I wanted to do it on a grappling mat, like like the Metamora style, the professional submission league. It was before that, and the Hickson Gracie tournament that was before that. I wanted it like that, and I couldn't do it. So we did have a couple combat jiu-jitsu matches because we got it sanctioned, but it had to be in a cage. It just didn't look right, and so then I decided to go, sub only, and I went sub only. We did EBI 1 and EBI 2. It was kind of like because combat jiu-jitsu, I couldn't get it sanctioned the way I wanted it to, but now I can. Now they love it. The commission loves it.
Yeah.
They're fully behind it. It's gonna, so now I'm going full blown combat jiu-jitsu. I'm not deserting EBI. EBI is a beautiful thing too, but we're always gonna have combat jiu-jitsu in EBI too. I think we have the set formula: 16-man regular EBI rules with a 4-man combat jiu-jitsu tournament mixed in, and then I think we're gonna always just keep it that way, and then separate combat jiu-jitsu worlds. That's gonna be separate.
Oh, wow. That is absolutely going to be intense. Now, you said it's going to be in Mexico?
Yes. Yeah.
Any reason for Mexico, or is it just I just feel like
we got EBI 10 was in Mexico, and that was a huge success as far as we had like a television deal there, and we were on Televisa, and we were in millions of homes on free TV. So the connections and our relationships with the TV people in Mexico are solid, and we're going to take advantage of it and keep it growing and keep it going.
Yeah. Dana White has frequently praised Mexican fight fans. I want to say like the last UFC card they held in Mexico, he was like, those Mexican fight fans, they know what to watch, they know when to cheer, and every time they cheered or booed, it was completely justified. So it's a good fight culture down there. Absolutely. Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about the drug testing in EBI? I mean, is it anything like the UFC where you kind of got USADA breathing down your neck and stuff like that? I mean,
no, we don't have any drug testing at all going on right now, and that's something that I'm looking into. And don't be surprised if sometime soon we start doing what the IBJJF does. Like we test the winners, you know what I mean? Or we first and second, we test them just to keep everything under control, just to make sure people don't look crazy, So right now it's the Wild West, we're not testing.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. We might have to. We might be forced to. I don't know, but it's something that has been discussed, and it's not going to happen for sure, but we're going back and forth with it right now.
Okay. And what are some of your thoughts about drug testing now in the MMA? I mean, do you think there are certain problems with it that you'd really like to get rid of, and you hope that don't get brought into drug testing in EBI?
Well, the only reason I'm even considering drug testing now is eventually I want EBI to be mainstream, and it's going to get big, and then we're going to have to do something. We're going to be, as long as the UFC's drug testing, we're going to eventually going to have to do it. If EBI grows like I want it to. Now, if I had my choice, should there be drug testing in the UFC? I wouldn't mind if there wasn't, not having to deal with it at all. I don't mind that. Either way, we're gonna. It's not gonna change what we're doing. We're gonna keep putting on shows. So whether we start drug testing or something happens where drug testing is completely taken out of mixed martial arts and martial arts, I'm cool with that too. But
absolutely.
We'll see what happens.
Okay. All right, Eddie. Well, I think that's good enough. Thank you for your time tonight. Anything you want to say to our readers before we let you go?
I think I pretty much covered it all.
I think
Thank
you
you for the
absolutely
support,
did.
and that's about it.
Yeah, no, thank you for the interview. Can't wait to see EBI 12, and definitely looking forward to that all-combat jiu-jitsu.
Thank you very much, man.
Yeah, thank
I'll
you.
talk to
You
you
have a
soon.
good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.